What's up, people? This your boy Humble Dad with another edition of Humble Dad Interviews. And this is going to be a little different today. We're going to interview a young lady that I would say is very entertaining, to say the least, because of the energy that she brings on the LAPEEF Network. And she's really dope because she went to Stephen F. Austin State University, right? Axum Jacks. And the reason why I wanted to interview her is because of her perspective on from a single woman's perspective of what it looks like to look at fathers on her end, her particular perspective. And so I want to welcome none other than Miss Island Gal
Hi.
Q.
Hi,
What's
humble
up?
dad.
What's going on? How you doing?
Nothing. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well now that I've actually got to the house and been able to relax. You know what I'm
Th-
saying?
That's good. I've been at the house all day. I work from home, so I love it here.
I work from home, but I had to go help out my girl with her new place. Yeah, she's a makeup artist, so she opened up a makeup school.
Okay, my girl.
Yeah, so I was helping her with that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to travel back to get here. So you know what I'm
That's
saying?
good. That's good.
So yeah, I typically work from home for sure.
That's good.
So let's talk about who you are. So kind of give the people a backdrop, a little bit of backdrop of whatever you decide to say. Who is Alan Gale Q?
Who is Island Gal Q? So I was born and raised in the U.S. Virgin Islands. As humble dad said, I went to college at SFA, Axum Jacks.
Facts.
Yeah, so Texas is the only state I've ever lived in. My immediate family does live here in Houston. We live in the Houston area. Honestly, I would say I'm kind of new to the YouTube streets, even though I've been here since November,
Yeah.
but I'm not hip to everybody's YouTube streams or all the lingo yet. It's so much to catch up on. But I was found on LAPEEF Network. JR
Mhm.
found me on Clubhouse and brought me over. So that's where I met Humble Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what happened. Okay. That's a bet.
Hmm.
Do you, before we get into it, do you remember our first conversation when I came up there? You don't have to. I remember because it was a
Ooh,
lot of people that have come up to y'all. Uh, I'm gonna just
sure.
run it back for the people how we went. Our first interaction. It was I was a call in. Jay wanted me to call in first,
Okay.
and the first question that I asked was, "Are you ready to be married?"
Hmm.
I don't know if you remember that question at all,
I
and
don't, but I know the answer.
right? And I said, "Are you a wife right now?" Was the
Hmm.
question,
Hmm.
and everybody gave their interesting combination of words, as
Uh-huh.
I'll call it, and you were the only person that actually answered it
As
thoroughly.
always.
Well, you throwing shade off the top, and so I respected that, and I was like, okay, so she's cool enough to at least answer these tough questions. JR was like behind the scenes, like, man, I thought you were gonna have a follow up question. I was like, no, I just really wanted to know that. And I already
Jared was
knew.
like, nah, you should have came harder, Humble Dad.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was the first time that we got to talk to each other.
That was
So
a
I want
while ago. That was like
yeah,
what, back in November?
yeah, yeah, I
Hmm.
think so for sure.
That
So I
was a
want to
long
get
time
into
ago.
the questions about a fatherhood and from your particular perspective. And the first question that I ask the dads are typically, and I ask it to you, what do you feel like the difference between a dad and a father is, or do you feel like there isn't one?
To me, I feel like a dad and a father are the same. And I say that because this is my perspective because of how I look at my dad, right? He's dad, we don't really say father, we say daddy or fada. Like in
Okay.
islands, we'll say fada or daddy or dad. So the title of dad and father, I feel like they're both the same. Like for me, it's so many words can explain what a dad and a father is. It's hardworking. He's nurturing in a masculine way, bond his way of bonding with us and supporting us in a long haul type of way. And as I said, not everyone, however, is gonna see it quite the same,
Hmm.
but the words to me are they're very subjective and mean different things to different people. So that's I just feel like they both are the same to me.
That's okay. That's
Maybe
cool. Like
because I
everybody
had a
has.
great father.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna get
Mhm.
into that. That's dope. So when you said that nurturing in a masculine way, and
Mhm.
I haven't heard that before. So can you expound upon what you mean by that, or give an
My
example?
Yeah, my dad is very goal oriented, right? So my dad, he was born and raised in Trinidad, grew up a very hard lifestyle with his two parents. And no, he had his hard lifestyle as living, right? I
Okay.
want to say he had 11 siblings, all from the same parents, same two parents. In Trinidad, they didn't have no TV, so all they was doing was effing, you know? So his lifestyle was they grew up all in one household, hand me downs. He had to walk miles to school. So that's what the hard lifestyle was for him. So he built his way up, right, in oil and gas. And he didn't have a college degree, but he has years of experience. And in Texas, years of experience means more sometimes than college degrees. So my dad built himself up and he pushed his kids to make sure, you know what, you need to go to college. You need to get a great job that pays a lot of money. Make sure you don't get sidetracked with drugs. Make sure you have a great foundation in friends. So
Mm.
he was very stern in how we moved about in certain things, right? But he was also lax in certain areas. So, we started tasting liquor at a young age. Okay, so
What?
because my dad's well, a lot of island people's philosophy. Drinking in the islands, the age limit is 18, but we
Okay.
probably started drinking. I
Oh,
don't
keep it real.
even know. I don't
Listen,
even know. Like
listen.
we was
7.
probably I can't remember at 7 what I was doing at 7, but here's some rum. My dad's philosophy, we always used to ask him that. My dad's philosophy on that was like, you know what? It's preparing you. So when you go to college, you don't get effed up and can't handle your liquor. That's why I'm a great ass drinker. Like you probably noticed that. At the weekend, I can take back shots and I can be perfectly fine.
Okay.
So it's that he was very tough on us. We also had chores. We also had stuff we had to do in the household. But we also used to fight each other. So we
Hmm.
used to get beat. We used to get whooped
So he
because
would whip y'all for fighting each other.
oh yes, because
Okay.
we would break stuff in the house. We broke TVs. We broke doors. We were play fighting. Even if there was a time that I set the tree on fire and my brother got beat because he thought it was my brother, because my brother was dumping trash in the tree. So we lived in a gated community,
Okay.
but it had cameras. So this we lived on the top of the hill, and then I threw a smoke bomb into a tree. Didn't know it was going to catch on fire.
Wait. Okay.
I know I'm
We're gonna
sidetracked.
get back to that, but walk
Sorry.
me through this process of the thought process in building a bomb,
No,
basically.
it was no, I didn't build it.
Okay.
I found it. It was like a little circle.
Okay.
So I'm like, wait, hold on, let me light it. But I couldn't figure out how to blow it out. I was young. So
Okay.
I threw it in the tree. It was a big tree. But
Okay.
long and behold, my older brother was throwing the trash in the tree. So I say that because we lived on a hill. To empty the trash, he had to go down the hill to empty the trash. But at
Okay.
times he would be lazy and decided, oh, let me just throw the trash bag in the tree. So since we're in a gated community, there's cameras. They saw this tree, massive trees on fire, fire alarms, and everything came. And yeah, and they were like, yo, is this going on? It had our mail with the names and everything. So, yeah, my brother got whooped from it because I never said it was me until I think I said it at Thanksgiving like 2 years ago. And I was like, yo, since we're telling stories, you remember that time that the tree caught on fire?
That's
That was me.
crazy.
Yeah. So we would break stuff because we'd be home. It's like three of us in the house. We would play. We used to be outside with a go-kart. We had go-karts and stuff and or we play Mario Brothers, and we would just argue and fight, and then my dad would just get the belt and whip us. Like, I like, ah,
So did
yeah.
everybody? So okay. So did everybody get a whooping, or was it the two people that was involved in the fight?
It depends. Sometimes my dad was like, you know what? Even though it's his fault, y'all too involved. Y'all getting whooped. There was times I got whooped and I wasn't even supposed to get whooped because I was
Listen,
studying.
I'm down with that
So
philosophy.
yeah, so we got whooped. So it's times that some of us got whooped or whoever was there, but no, we got whooped. I think whoopings are definitely needed because we turned out perfectly fine.
Oh, you think you perfectly?
Compared to some of the stuff I see how people are,
Okay, for
and
sure.
and compared to
For sure.
how my friends ended up in high school, I think
Okay,
we're doing pretty good for ourselves.
that's fine. I wanted to kind of add on to you saying about all of y'all got in trouble. Now I tried that because I looked at it like this: if one of my kids, I have four, right? They're
Mhm,
12, 10, 8, and 3, right? And so I talked to them about, listen, your situation of you getting in trouble is always going to be a consequence other than just for yourself. Right. So what happens to you, you think it just happens to you, but at the same time, it's going to affect others. And so that was the thought process behind it. Right. And so I've been inconsistent with it, but it was working for a time. And,
mhm.
they would definitely try to figure out getting in trouble to get, they would figure out, listen, we don't want to get in trouble. Hey, you need to act right and do what you're supposed to do. Right. But then I was like, on the other end, they didn't do anything. Why they in trouble? Right?
Mhm.
And so I get, it's for me, it goes back and forth and it's not ever really consistent,
Mhm.
because if that's the case, I got one that always gets in trouble and the other ones don't really get in trouble. They start being upset at this dude.
Because they know what's coming. My dad had a thick leather belt from work. He
Oh
was like, "Go get the
man.
belt." Oh,
Oh,
I
and you had to go
remember.
get it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we used to go get it. We used to start crying before, you know how kids are. We start crying before we start getting whooped because we already know what's
Yes.
coming. We
Yes.
already know. It
I
came
got
to a
two that
point
do
in
that.
time we uh we got a little bit older. We got a little old for the whippings and we could take it. So my dad used to make us kneel down on the concrete. We had concrete floors. On the concrete floors,
Wow.
put our hands up facing the wall with
Oh,
encyclopedias. We had these thick encyclopedias in our hands and face the wall until whenever he said to put your hands down.
oh, I
Oh
like
my
that one.
God, that right there, that's why our knees are effed up. That right there was pain. But
I like that one. I did the squats. I have them do wall sits.
oh, I would take wall sits any day.
And then they have to count in multiples of certain number to a particular number.
Okay, so they learning at the same time. Okay, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's
So
smart.
they either have to do multiples of 3, 4, 5, or whatever, and
Mhm.
you better know what it is. Figure out how to get there.
Start back over.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. I'll let you stand up for about 10 seconds, but we going back. And you got to get to these wall sits.
I would
And
take that any day.
hey, listen, they don't like them.
Well, but hey, they try the kneel down and see how which one they like better. The
I
kneel
bet I'm
down,
gonna do that.
hands up. They gotta face the wall. They can't touch the wall. Face the wall with encyclopedias in their hand
Oh, okay. I got to go find some encyclopedias. I don't even know
or
what those
books or something.
for sure. So that took me back to like middle school time, when there was a situation, or what's a scenario that you remember your dad kind of talking to you about it, and it helped you through the process of, moving on to either, even as you got older, even like high school or in college. What's a scenario that you remember?
In middle school,
Yeah. Listen, don't act like you don't remember middle school.
I know. I'm trying to think if they had any big problems in middle school.
It don't have to be a problem. It just could have been something. Maybe he encouraged you in some way.
Ooh, that's a long time ago. Ooh,
Mm.
let me think. I mean, all I really can remember, I think it had to be pertaining to sports. I played sports in all year round, even in college. So, um, okay, I remember. So, once it was this class I had to take. It was some video class, and I'm like, I'm an athlete. What I need to do a video, some type of like video class. My
Hmm.
dad's very strict. All A's and you can might get a B, but if you get a C, you ain't playing.
Oh, what?
Yes, my dad is very strict when it came to grades and stuff like that.
That's what's up.
Um, I what do y'all call it? Progress report. So we had a progress report, and I had a B minus, and it said she barely showed up.
In the comment section,
She barely shows up. I mean,
you
he's
was skipping
right.
class.
I will go to the gym and shoot around or play with volleyball. I'm like,
Okay.
what I need to be there for? Like, yeah. And then he was like, you know what? You're done playing sports until this grade goes up. So I had to configure a whole show. So I called it the Q report. And in a
Okay.
matter of 3 days, I was like, okay, I'm coming up with the Q report. I will be the reporter. I will be coming up with headlines regarding stuff that's going out in the real world regarding sports or anything that's going on sports related now. Within 4 or 5 days I got my grade up.
That's what. Hey, that's motivation.
That is I think that's where this broadcasting thing came from, not came from, but that's where it started. Me doing
Mm.
my own show called the Q report.
And you can even remember that story.
I couldn't even remember that. That was I'm trying to remember, is that high school or middle school? It had been like middle or early high school.
That's what's up. So when you get to high school, um, now you becoming a young lady. Now I guess now boys are liking you, right? Because that's a thing. And I know it happens in middle school, but it happens
Mhm.
a lot more in high school. So what happens? The conversation with your dad in that situation? Did y'all have that type of conversation?
We didn't at all.
Okay. Do
But
you think y'all
also
should have?
no, because I didn't have boyfriends in high school.
Oh, okay.
I was so focused. I didn't date anybody in high school. I was so focused on sports. I played three sports:
Okay.
basketball, volleyball, and track. And I did AAU volleyball, AAU basketball. In the summer I was doing basketball or we were traveling as a family. I
Okay.
was more, even though I was a flirt, I was more shy. Like I think I got my first kiss in uh junior, not junior, 11th grade, and that was because of a truth or dare. That
That's
was a truth or dare.
crazy.
So I didn't start dating till college. Like,
Okay, that's what's up. The reason why I asked is because, like I said, I have two girls, right? One of them is 12, about to be 13, and so I'm trying to look and listen to you, um, as well as other women. Like, what is it like to have your dad in your life, and these scenarios present themselves to you? So then, if it what, go ahead. You about to say?
my dad also, it's kind of looked down upon if you become a baby mama or baby
Oh,
daddy.
okay,
So like that was never really in high school and middle school, I wasn't thinking about boys like that.
okay,
Compared to now, it's like kids are having sex at 11
hmm,
and having babies at 11. I wasn't even thinking about that. Like,
yeah,
I didn't, of course, I would hear people having, like, okay, she's having sex or da 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 da. But I didn't even take it too serious because I was so focused on sports. So, is it a good conversation to have nowadays? Yes, because what the culture is now is totally different.
mm,
Back when I went to high school, but I mean, people were still having sex in my high school. I just was too naive about it. But it's definitely a conversation you should have early on because the more we have conversations with people, the early on they're having sex. I think someone said on the late life street they had sex when they were 7. I was
that's
like,
crazy.
"What?"
That's crazy.
I'm
Yeah,
like I'm
that's
like
crazy.
I didn't even know what boys were like thinking like that. So, I wasn't really I think my parents pushed, "Hey, don't do nothing that you're going to regret." So,
Okay.
because doing that, like my dad, as I said, was very strict, and it's certain stuff like very strict. He said no tattoos, no tat. Yeah, yeah,
Woo.
I didn't listen to him at that part, but you know what? I listened to everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he said like he was like no tattoos in that. And when you're in my household, I'm gonna cut you off financially It did happen in college when he saw a tattoo of mine. But
Really?
he was moving me in my second year at SFA,
Yeah.
and I bent down and he saw one little tattoo.
I think you shared this before.
I did on the late
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
Yep. He saw it and then he just threw the box down. He was like, he said my government name. He's like, da da da. What is that?
What?
I was like, what? He's like, what is that? What is that on your back?
What?
My dad is full Trinidadian.
Okay.
So yeah, he cut me off. I had to get, I think next semester, student loans and stuff like that.
Oh, he was for real.
Oh, my dad is
Okay,
for
so as
real.
you talk about that, I want to pause right there to kind of expound upon that, because the reason why is because parents don't often finish what it is that they started, or they don't necessarily do what it is that they say.
No,
Right.
not my dad. My dad
Right.
is very strict, very stubborn. He's never wrong type of person. That's
Mm.
how he is. No matter if you have the proof or whatever, he will always be right. I
I
know
think
those
people
types.
say that about me.
Yeah. No, he's definitely that way. The older he gets, he softens more up, he's softened more up, but he was definitely hard on the first three kids. First, me and my two siblings.
Oh, okay. So
Mhm.
then when you get, so what do you think that did for you as an individual, having to come from the point of he's supporting you, but then he said, listen, this is a decision that you made. You went against what it is that I'm saying, and now you got to do this by yourself. What do you feel like that did for you?
I was
If it,
perfectly I was perfectly fine. Student loans, sign me up.
what?
Like,
Okay.
I mean, and then I had a little job. So, okay, they cut off my allowance. I mean, that it didn't really affect me as I think he thought it would affect me. But then again, I don't spend a lot of money.
Mhm.
So the stuff he was paying for, like it wasn't a lot. And of course, he started speaking to me again a couple weeks, couple months. I'm his youngest daughter. So
Mm.
it's it that him doing that didn't really affect me as big as probably he thought.
Mm.
I already had a couple tattoos. He just saw that little one.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
That's
like, be
crazy.
glad, be glad that's all I had, because there's a lot of women that were pregnant and got babies when they were in high school and hooked on drugs. And but the older he realized how messed up it is here in the States. He's told me that one time. He was like, man, because we had like four other girls and all of them end up in a wrong path, like in high
Okay.
school.
Yeah.
Like one got pregnant, one one got pregnant first year in college, one dropped out, one turned gay, and then she's living in the projects, and one's hooked on drugs. He was like, so he has things for he always says this about his kids. He was like, I'm grateful for how my kids ended up, because we're all doing good career wise. My brother is the only one older brother is the only one that's married with kids. Nobody has kids out of wedlock.
Mm.
So to him, he succeeded as a parent because that's
Uh,
all he wanted, right? He wanted us to be happy, but also live here in the States in a good job, like a good living, because
yeah.
how he grew up.
That's good. So as you enter into this out of college and then to the dating market, does he have anything to do with talking to you about that?
No. So my dad, he'll always no.
Or what
Dating
type of advice does he give you now that you're older?
regarding dating, he really
No, just
doesn't.
anything in general. It doesn't have to be necessarily
He'll
dating.
he'll give me he'll give me more like jobs. Like, here's this another job that's, but he doesn't really know what I'm making. So he'll be like, yo, this is this job doing. He just told me this other day, hey, this company is hiring. They're hiring for this position. You can make up to 175, da 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 da. So he'll do that, like
Okay.
business. He's very business focused. Regarding dating, honestly, my dad just wants me to find a guy that I'm happy and that makes money.
Okay. That
'Cause
sounds like a
he's so business focused,
yeah,
right? He's so
yeah.
business focused and making sure that no matter what, I'm taken care of. But he
That makes
doesn't
sense.
But him not living here, being grown up here, or being out there, he doesn't know sometimes what comes with a man with money.
Okay.
So even though he has money, he doesn't see the other side of it, the modern dating. He doesn't
That
see
definitely
that.
sounds
So
like a
it,
different topic. That definitely sounds like
yeah,
the
it's different.
problems with
It's
modern
That's why
dating.
when people say ask your for your father, not my dad. My dad will be totally blind. He'll probably ask you, okay, how much you make, and that's probably the only thing he'll probably
That's the only question
care
that he
for.
would have.
Oh, you want to take a shot? You want some liquor? Or he'll ask about your family. He'll ask about, so how's your parents? Da 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 da. But he wouldn't know more on how it is now because he's not receptive of what's going on today.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I was trying to see what would be my next question based on what you would say there. So as you get into this real world, I guess a college is real world, but now you're kind of out of the pool, if you will, and now you're having to kind of be on land, kind of sort of. And so as you get into these streets, as they call it, right? I don't know why they call it, but whatever. Um, and you start talking to different guys, right? I don't know, talking to guys. I don't want to say different guys, but talking to guys. This is a question that I have that I never asked before. How would you know if a guy that doesn't have kids would be a good father or
You
dad?
wouldn't know 100%.
Okay.
Anybody can change after having kids, right? It's been said that women can change mentally, they body change after having a child. You don't know what a child can bring to a man or a woman.
Mm,
So that's not a question. That's not a thing that I could 100% know. It's more asking. I like asking questions. Okay.
okay.
How was your upbringing, right? How was your parents? How was that living situation? If you had both your parents in the household, and asking, okay, how many kids do you want? Okay, regarding your kids, how would you raise them? Do you believe in whipping kids? Because there's
That
some
wait, wait,
people,
wait. That's a question.
yes, I
Okay.
asked that. I
Okay.
for sure asked that.
Okay.
Do you believe in whipping kids? Do you believe, how do you see yourself if you would have kids today? How would you want them raised? Are you wanting
That's
them
a good
raised?
question.
Mm-hmm. I ask some deep questions because those type don't. What's your favorite color? I don't like asking that. I don't really care about that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Unless it's like your birthday, then I could do something. But no, how would you want your kids raised, right? What
Mm.
type of household? Because if you, or how would you want a marriage? Are you wanting me to work from home? I mean, are you wanting me to not work? Okay, that's cool. That's very understandable,
Mm.
right? I can do that. I don't need to work. I work from home. If we can afford me not working, I won't work from home. Because in today's lifestyle and today up here, these kids are some badass kids nowadays.
But that's
And you know
because of
what?
parenting, though.
You're right, because it's kids raising kids. But not only that, the school system should not be the only thing raising your child,
Facts.
right? So I feel it's very important that parents should be in their kids' life in
Mm.
many ways. So that's something I like to ask questions on and seeing how they want the marriage. But not only that, after they answer the marriage, if they want traditional or if they want that 50-50, okay, so how do you see your kids being raised? Okay, do you want them in private school? Do you want them in public school? Are you more of a hands-on father, or are you going to be more working man father?
You
Okay,
have to
cuz
break these down to me.
so so my dad was a working man,
Okay.
right? He worked and everything. He still was in our lives, coming to our games, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Of course he was more hands-on, hands-off, but in today's society, if you have a man that's business focused and all he has to do is focus on business, okay, so we're going to have to figure out how we're going to get that masculine role out of him and put it into the kid's lifestyle. Because what
Mm.
people don't realize is that people say a father needs to be in the son's life. That's true. A father needs to be in the daughter's life too. What they don't realize is that a daughter's first love is her father, right? I look at my father and see how he treats my mother and what he has done to our family, and that's what I look for. That's what
Mm.
I like. That's what I want to see in a man, because it
Mm,
worked out perfectly fine for her and his kids. So I definitely believe it's very important for a man to be in his kids' lives, some way, some form, right? Um, so it's certain questions you have to ask to see if how are they gonna be in their life. And a lot of people don't understand how important those questions are. I don't like to give men the answers to my questions. No.
yeah. I'm
You
not
answer.
asking them for you either. I wasn't even gonna ask you.
I'm not gonna give you my playbook.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Well,
gonna
which
answer my questions first, because I don't want you to tell me what you think I want to hear. No, no,
facts.
no, sir.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, I think it's very important to ask those type of questions, because a lot of people view things differently. And I think the kids aspect thing for me is very important. If we don't align on the kids aspect, it doesn't make sense for us to continue. And I have those
Mm,
conversations probably maybe the first conversation or the second or the third, because I don't need to
mm.
waste your time or my time.
That's dope. So, how did you get to the point of asking these questions? Where did you get these questions from?
I'm a private
Because
eye investigator. No, I'm playing, I'm playing. No,
you could be playing, but be for real. So,
no. Um, my degree is in social work and psychology, and I've worked in a abuse and neglected center.
ah,
So I I picked up on listening to understand, but also asking the right questions. So it gives children the space to that's so cheeky.
I
It
see
gives
him.
it gives the children the space to give more information on instead of just honing on that one question. So I think those, but it also deals with the relationships I've dealt with, right?
Mm,
The more people that you encounter in your life, friends, family, whoever, you learn they're either a lesson or a blessing, or they're both,
ah, nice.
right?
Hmm.
So it just comes from picking up or listening from my other friends' perspectives or their scenarios, listening to my other
Ah,
homegirl scenarios. Okay, let me listen, girl. Okay, so why didn't you ask him this? Oh, I didn't think about that. So I deep think. I'm like, okay, let me ask this, let me ask that, because it gets rid of all the BS and you going through this 4 or 5 months and then 6 months later you find out he wants this. So that's I'm good at just asking questions. I've always been that way.
maybe it's because of middle school
Middle school.
when you had the project or whatever that you had to be the news anchor or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, yeah. I was a reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where it
Maybe
came from.
maybe you came from. Yeah.
For
Mm.
sure. So that those are really good questions. According to some other people were saying that, and so when you ask it on the first, second, or third day, and the guy is like, what's the response? What's the reaction? Because
So
these are not questions that sound like are typical or normal from what I would think.
my dates aren't normal though. So
Okay.
I usually have conversations with the person prior to even meeting them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm weird. So I'm not about to go
That's
on
a
a date.
fact.
Yeah, I'm definitely weird. I'm not about to go on a date with Bob and then Henry 3 days later. No, let me have a let's have conversations. Let's have FaceTimes. Let's see if we can actually communicate. Let's see how well we mesh, right? So conversations, honestly, my first time conversations with men, like they last a good 5 hours,
Mm.
4 hours. One time it was like 12 was my longest, right?
What?
12 hours. Listen, listen, don't listen. Men have told me, right, that I'm very easy to talk to. And plus, I'm goofy, I'm laid back, and then I could just talk about anything, right? So
Okay.
when I do find someone I'm interested in and we connect on the phone, we'll just be talking for hours.
Okay.
That has happened I can't even tell me my exes. Let's see.
12 hours.
Yeah, that was 12 hours. We actually and then he decided, he's like, "Hey, you want to watch a movie together?" So we spent like 2.5 hours watching a movie together.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So 2.5 hours.
Okay.
But we were just talking and talking. And I feel like once you get comfortable or let a woman or give a man a space for him to be comfortable, they will open up. That's why that
Mm,
whole thing when men say they can't be vulnerable, they don't want to open up. No, that's not true. It will happen. You just gotta let it flow. Like, I'm not
mm.
gonna be like, "Hey, what's this? What's that? What's this?" No, I'm not doing that. I'm
It's
letting it come.
conversational.
Yeah, it's
It's,
conversational. I'm letting it flow. I'm like, yeah, in high school I did this. Yeah, man, I did this a week ago. So it's just a conversation we're having. It's flowing. It's nothing like it's a interview. Nothing like that.
mm, that's what's up.
Mhm.
Shout out to my cutie. You know what I'm saying? She said you seem
Aw.
easy to talk to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really am. Like, I don't want to say I'm a homie. That does look bad
Yes,
for a woman.
yes.
Yeah,
That's what it felt like. That's what
yeah,
it felt
I'm
like
a
with the homie.
homie.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like a homegirl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That want to try to give people,
I
you
really
know.
am, and and it sucks when men tell me that you're very easy to talk to. I'm like, dang, people don't talk to you like this. They're like, no, women want to talk about superficial stuff. I'm like, well, just change the subject then.
I
Like,
think the thing about it is, like my girl, she was raised by her mom and her dad. So like talking to you, like the things that you're saying are similar to what I hear her communicating to me. So it's a totally
mm,
different dynamic. I mean, and if you think about it, most girls and boys don't get to access a man living in the house that's their biological father, right? So, and if you have a dad that's active, he's communicating with you on a regular basis.
mm-hmm,
And so that conversation, you're getting to talk to a man on a regular basis, right?
yeah,
So you're getting to also go through the mind of a guy, even though he's your dad.
yeah,
Like with my daughter, she loves talking to me most of the time, right? Because some of the time I'm having to discipline her, right? But oftentimes, would she just come in and she just talk to me about some things? Like I'll give you a scenario of some of my parenting style. This past Saturday, I have 4 kids. Like I said, three of them play, two of them play baseball, and my daughter plays softball. And so I got games that I got to get to, right? And we go to her first game on Saturdays, 1:30, and she had an awful game. Right? I'm not saying this to her because she already know. I mean, the first situation she struck out. Now, mind she's a good hitter, but she struck out. Then the next time, she got walked, but she got on base, and then the ball it's a pop fly, but she runs to second without touching first base, and then going right because coach had just said if it's a pop fly, don't go.
mm,
And so she did, and and so the first time she struck out, I'm telling her, listen, you good at this, like you know how to do this. I don't know what it is. All right, let's walk through what it is that you did. But before that, I asked her the question of, do you want to just be by yourself, or do you want to talk to me? And she said, I want to talk to you. And so when she comes out the
aw,
cave, I talk to her, right? Okay, I talk to her and give her some words of encouragement. When she struck out, coach tried to come talk to her. I said, don't say nothing to her. Let her feel this particular pain,
mm-hmm,
right? Let her feel what this is like. And so she's boohooing. Now, mind you, they win it 8-0. But she thinks that she let the team down. Right? So then so after the game, I talked to her. I said, listen, you got game number 2, and you have a great opportunity to recover. I said, I've been in the situations where I've had horrible games. They happen. So, but you literally have another opportunity to make a difference. Well, come to find out, I didn't get to watch the game because I had to go to my youngest son game. Get home, right? She come find me, Daddy. Let me tell you about the game. I said, okay, it must have been really good because you come find me. And
aw,
she said, hey, I had a good game, Dad. I said, well, tell me about it. She said, I had a triple and a double, and I bet
ooh,
in 4 people. I say, that's what's up. I said, that's good stuff. I'm happy about it. And I'm proud of you. Now walk me through what you did. And she said, stepping forward, Dad, really does work. I said,
Mm.
really? I said, who taught you that? She said, you did. I said, imagine that working and everything like that. And so,
Okay, girl, dad.
yeah, so we had that moment. But before I did, was stern, but then I came back and showed her how much I loved her. And then she was confident enough to come and talk to me about her successes. But that doesn't mean that tomorrow I'm not going to, if something goes wrong, then I'm not going to get on you about it. And
Exactly.
from what she told me, she appreciates that.
Yeah.
So absolutely. So that's how I parent. And every kid is so different. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So how would you say you're different from your brothers, and how do you feel like your dad parents y'all in a different way, or if he does?
My dad was stricter on me and my two older siblings.
Okay.
Regarding everything, sports,
Okay.
grades, no tattoos, all of that. Definitely
Yeah.
more stricter on that. And I think my younger brother, who you
Yeah.
met,
Yeah.
he didn't get he didn't get the beatings like us because we had already moved to the States. And when we moved to the States and you find out that something called CPS up here, if you got beat, we're like, what?
Yes.
CPS? What?
Yes.
We had that in the islands, but we didn't have that in the islands. We in the islands,
Ah,
teachers could beat kids. So things were a little different when we moved up here.
okay.
He wasn't getting beat, he was getting pinched. That's a little difference my parents did with him. So,
That's funny.
um, but he still was strict on my brother regarding grades, get your degree, don't get
Mm,
no women pregnant. So and I that worked out for us.
yeah.
And I say that because I see all these other people's scenarios. Granted, my dad did say focus on work, which I have, which has uh hindered me in dating.
Okay.
So that has definitely, and I can say why. People are like, why are you single? Why are you not married? I know why. It's because of me. I focus on work. I'll go 2 years, 3 years, not even going on a date with a man or even encountering a man because I'm so, you know, after a relationship, I'm like, okay, let me just focus on work. Let me focus on me. Let me shut myself out from
Mm,
friends and focus. So it's positive and negatives to how my dad has
mm,
taught us, but honestly I wouldn't want to know no other different way due to the fact that how we turned out compared to what I'm seeing in the world today.
yeah.
So I am grateful for that. His strict, even though back then we're like, what the hell?
Absolutely. When you in the storm, it don't make sense.
Strangle this Trinidadian stubborn man. But looking back at it, things happen for a reason. And
Yeah.
there's a reason why he was strict on us regarding all levels, is because he wanted us to be better than how he was raised.
Yeah. That's what's up. So
Hmm.
we're almost coming to an end. I'm gonna ask you three questions. Well, it's gonna be five questions, but three of these questions are from a list that I choose from. You dabbing?
I'm doing what? Oh
Are you
no.
dabbing?
No, I was coughing. I've been sick.
Oh, okay,
Oh, that's
cool.
what that is. People say that. I'm not hip to, I don't listen to rap.
Me neither, but that was a long time ago.
Oh.
But so okay, I'm gonna give you. You can give me a number between 1 and 44, and then I'm gonna ask a question from the list that I got. You go. Number
21. That's
between
Tim
one and
Duncan's
44.
number. 21.
Oh, you're a Tim Duncan fan.
Yes, Tim Duncan is from
Oh,
my
okay,
island, Virgin Islands, baby.
that's right.
Tim
That's right.
Duncan.
Absolutely. Okay,
Mhm.
so that goes to answer this question. Maybe who was your childhood hero?
Hero. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't have a hero growing up.
Not even your dad.
I wouldn't hero. I would think of somebody famous. Isn't
Okay.
hero? I'm stuff like that. Like hero is that I would think somebody famous, someone I looked up to.
Okay. Let's go with that.
I would say my mom.
Oh, okay. That's what's
Hmm.
up. Why?
Um, it's because her her taking care of the household, her taking care of these kids, juggling the lifestyle. Also, when my dad had to work long hours, also when my dad had to work overseas for months, she kept the household together,
Mm,
right? She was the glue to our family. So
yeah.
if we would get in an argument with our dad, or my brother got in an argument with my dad and they were disarrayed, it was my mom that would bring us back together somehow, some way. So even though my dad is the money maker, the provider, it was my mom that was basically the glue to us.
That's what's up. All right. Thank you for that answer. That's
Hmm.
really good. So give me another number.
3, Allen Iverson.
So okay, let let me pause. All right. So I'm assuming you like basketball.
I do.
Okay.
That's my favorite sport, basketball.
Okay. Did you play at SFA?
No, I played volleyball at SFA.
Oh, okay.
I played basketball. I went to McDonald's conference, varsity all 4 years in all three sports.
Oh, okay. Said Iverson. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Okay. We'll give it that.
And he's
Iverson is dope.
fine.
Iverson is dope. All right. What are your memories about the houses you lived in as a kid? Did you have a favorite?
The houses I lived in, it would be the house back in Islands, because we lived on top of the hill. We had go-karts. It was just, not only that, I mean, you could drive 20 minutes from the beach. Like
Okay.
the food, we would have parties every other weekend or somebody, and gathering. People would come to our house for gatherings, and we knew our neighbors. They were friendly. But it's just the environment, the culture is different than up here. No, my parents actually, their neighbors are nice. So no, their neighbors are nice and everything, but it's not the same. Island life is totally not the same as stateside life. But I would definitely, I miss I miss that house because it has so many memories. So many times we got whooped. The kitchen caught on fire because my brother forgot to turn off the grease, and we had to go to another house for a little bit. It's just so much memories.
That's what's up. Okay. All
Mhm.
right. Give me one last number.
23.
Who is that? LeBron or Jordan?
No, it's MJ.
Okay. I mean, we're gonna have to have this side conversation some other time. MJ's not the greatest, but he is.
You to LeBron.
No, I don't think LeBron is the greatest. I go with Kareem or Kobe.
Okay,
But
Kareem. Okay, Kobe. Kobe.
all right, so 23. What did you love to do in high school?
What did I love to do? Play sports. Play sports and family. We used to travel. We do family trips.
Okay.
So we do family trips, or we'll do my parents' house. They have, in this one too, they have a movie theater. So they'll do a movie night where we'll either cook or whatever, or they'll cater food or something, and then we'll just
That's
go
what's
pick
up.
a movie and watch movies, or
Yeah.
do like a game night. Sometimes we'll do game night. We Our people like to party.
Listen, game night is where it's at. We
Yeah,
play
so we'll
game
do a
night
game
around
night.
here. Play
Hmm.
video game. We haven't had it in a while, so
No, game night like Taboo, not like Mario Brothers, like Taboo or something. Last time we played like a drinking game. So it's
okay.
certain games. Or we have I have these big Jengas, the big size
Yes.
Jenga ones.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
have
That's
that,
it.
and I'll do like Jello shots and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Doing these shots, man.
That's why I said when I don't go out, I don't go out, because it's either I'm at home or I'm hanging with my family or I'm
That's
just
what's up.
home. I don't go out for what?
That's what's up. Oh, okay. I
Mhm.
see. I understand. That's what's
Yeah.
up. We have family night. I'm sorry, not family night. We have game nights where it's not necessarily. Sometimes it's video games. I
Mhm.
mean, my kids are younger, so that's what they love to do. But
Mhm.
we've also played Clue. We played Pokemon board game.
Mhm.
You have never heard of Clue?
Clue with the
It's like it's it's like you
who
have
killed somebody?
it's a board game and who murdered who and where
Yes.
and what room
Okay. Oh, that's
what item.
old.
Yeah, I even had to watch the movie.
We used to play this game called Trouble. Do you know what
Yeah,
Trouble is? We still
yeah,
play it. No lie. It's the
uh,
one we pop. My
yeah.
parents still play it. They have it. I got one. I got a set here, and
That's
they
what's
have
up.
one at home. We still play it from this day.
That's what's up. All right, so I got two
Mhm.
last questions.
Mhm.
All right, so this one I didn't ask you to, and I didn't prep you for this one, so I'm gonna give you some time to think about it. You talked about your dad being strict, and of course he's from Trinidad.
Mhm.
And so I don't know how much TV you got to watch, but I typically ask the question of which TV dad does the guy resemble for himself the most, right? That might be a screenshot. So who would you say, past or present, could you say emulates your dad the closest?
Oh, I'm the worst person to ask that because one, I was just telling Shannon this on his show. I haven't seen a lot of movies because we didn't really grow up watching TV.
Yeah.
And then two, I don't even know famous people's names like that. Unless I could
Yeah.
say Denzel Washington, that's the first black man that came to mind.
He didn't
I
have to
just
be
watched
black
a
though.
Denzel
He didn't have to
Washington
be
movie.
black.
That's why.
I'm just saying his
Huh?
characteristics, like characteristics. And it doesn't have to be from America. I mean, it could be anybody.
Um, I, is it who? Is it Denzel? Is that his name? Denzel, the one that Quincy, where his son had a heart problem
Oh,
and he
John Q.
John Q.
Yeah, okay.
So something about that just clicked in my head. Something that my dad would probably go to jail for us.
Hmm.
Yeah, he would. My dad will go to jail for us.
How do you feel about that?
I would go to jail for my kids too, so I'm okay with that.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's good stuff. All
I
right.
don't have no kids, but I'm just thinking in the future, I
Yeah.
would definitely go to
But
jail
I'm
for my
saying, how do
kids.
you feel? How does that make you feel? Maybe that's a better question. That your dad would be willing to risk his life for you. Before you answer, the reason why I asked this, right? Because the channel is about dads, and dads get a bad rep, but there are some dudes that don't be taking care of their business, right? But to for a child to know that their parent would risk their life for them, like what is that? What's that feeling, or what's that thought behind that?
I don't. I might sound kind of insensitive, but I feel like that's what a dad should do.
Mm, that's what's up.
So
No, that's
that
good.
might sound kind of
No,
insensitive, but
listen, it's your perspective, so it's what it is.
I feel parents, right? As long as the child is not doing anything obscene or any like crazy or nothing like that. Like
Yeah,
I'm willing to go for bat for my kids. And you should be protective of your kids, especially with today's society, what's going on. And it's you know why? It's because I've seen what happens to kids when they don't have the right parents in their life.
yeah,
As I said, I've worked for in a child abuse and neglected center, and the stuff I used to see,
yeah.
ridiculous. And how the justice system is a failure for some of these kids, it's ridiculous. And some of these people shouldn't even be parents,
Facts.
right? Some of these
Yeah.
people should be locked up. Some of these people shouldn't even be alive. And I could say that.
Mm,
So um I just feel when you become a parent, not everybody should be parents because that's a job right there.
yeah.
And
I was a
I don't
teacher for
think
11 years, so I know for middle schoolers.
mm,
So I'm very aware. So I'm very aware. All right, last question, and really appreciate you for hanging out with me today. For
mhm.
all those that are paying attention, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, follow Alan Garrett Q on Instagram. All right, for sure. The last question, and also on the LAPEEF Network, where she be trying to give her take in between all the other
All the
people
arguing.
trying to get a take, right? So you talk to your dad. How often do you talk to your dad? That's not the question, but
Oh,
I'm a follow up question.
honestly, like this texting or on the phone?
Yeah,
Like
text is fine. Communicating is fine.
honestly, probably weekly.
I bet.
I
So
just
here's
talked
my
to him
question.
yesterday.
Bet. Here's my question. All right. So if you just in the moment and you just wanted to talk to your dad about um, what it is that he's done for you, or how he has influenced you, what would be some words? You may have already done this. What are some words that you would say to him to say that this is how I would remember you? That these are the words that I would say what you've done for me personally.
So you want me to say words? Sorry, say that one more time.
Yeah, you're talking to your dad. What would you tell him as far as what would you tell him as far as how he has been? What words would you come to that come to your mind, whatever it is? What would you like to tell him? If you could just tell, if he was on the other side of the camera,
Hmm.
what would you say to him as for him to be your dad? What was it like for him to be your dad? What words would you
Oh,
want
okay.
him to
The funny
remember?
thing is, I actually just told him because his birthday was April 16th.
Okay,
So, I would say we're a jokative type of family. So,
okay.
I'm saying, even though you are very stubborn, stuck in your ways, Trinidadian old man,
Mm,
you have taught us, when I say us, his kids, you have taught us many things that you have taught us many things that kids wish they had in their life. And I am grateful for the stuff that you installed in our heads and conditioned us at a very young age. Um, and as you can see, your four kids have turned out above and beyond what is the norm nowadays. So I am grateful for what you sacrificed,
mm,
um, and what you went through to get us to where we're at now. Because I know you did all that hard work, long hours, working overseas, and all of that to provide for your family in many ways, in more than one. So I'm definitely grateful and happy for that. And I will definitely instill some of those values and morals that you taught us to my future kids. And hopefully I can find a man like you.
oh my. Well, if you stop being a hermit, then you might be able to
You
find
gonna
one.
start crying like a little wimp. I'll be like, Dad, what you
You don't
crying for?
be, you don't be getting. You say you don't be getting out.
Oh,
Maybe you
yeah.
could find one at camp.
Hell, you see that ghetto mess? I don't want no man in camp.
I'm just kidding.
That man
I'm-
over there are probably drug dealers and been to jail a couple of times. No.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Well, I really appreciate your time, Q. This has
You're
been dope. You
welcome.
have the last word. What would you like to say to the people?
People out there that's watching, haters, lovers of mine, make sure you subscribe to Humble Dad. He's very cool. Met him this past week. Was it this past week?
Yeah.
It was this past week. That's why I got sick. This past week, he's very cool. Definitely subscribe to his channel and his Instagram. I want to say thank you, Humble Dad, for having me on here. It's been
Thank
a
you for being a
pleasure.
part. Absolutely. Well, until next time, we out here.
Bye.
Bye.